In my previous videos, I have dealt with creating a work breakdown structure in less than 10 minutes, and I have also covered in detail regarding the project management concepts. If you have not checked that out already, I'll leave a link for you in the description box down below. And for the case studies, let's get started. If you already have the book, you can go to chapter 1, case study 1. But if you don't, here is the quick summary of the case. There is basically a non-profit organization at a college, and the members are Beth, Rosemary, and Steve. This non-profit organization collects food and distributes it to people. Their funds are now exhausted, and the demand for the food is increasing. They are funded by whom? They are funded by the city government, but the government is strained and can also cut more funds in the next year. They are thinking about starting a fundraising project because they need around 10,000 US dollars in the next 2 months to get through this year. They also require volunteers, storage space, and more food. I think the case summary is clear now, so let's attempt the questions. You can pause the video after I show you the question if you want to attempt that question yourself, and then you can check the answers. Please note the answers are based on what I think. If your answers are a little different or there are some new points, then please let me know in the comment section down below. We can have a discussion and let's get started. First question is, what are the needs that have been identified? So when I look at the case study here, we see that what is the need? It's $10,000, volunteers, storage space, and more food. So my answer would be to get more funds, volunteers, space for storage, and food donations. Let's look at the next question now. The next question is, what is the project objective? You can pause the video here if you don't want to hear the solutions, but for the people who want to listen to the solutions, I had discussed in my previous lessons that project objective comprises of three things: budget or funds, timeline, and also need. Right? Let's see in the case study what are the three factors which make up our objective. The objective is, in terms of funds, we need $10,000, and also we need volunteers, storage space, and more food. Timeline is like we need it in 2 months, right? So let's look at my answer. To start a fundraising project to get $10,000 in 2 months, along with volunteers, storage space, and food donations. Let's go to the next question. What assumptions, if any, should be made regarding the project to be undertaken? Since they are targeting a locality where there are a lot of people and they are trying to create a fundraising project, you can pause the video right now. They have a good reputation. Why is that? Because since they are starting a fundraising project, only if they have a good reputation, people will be willing to provide them money or food or whatever support they need. But if they have a kind of shady reputation and everything, this wouldn't work. So I'm assuming that they have a good reputation in the market. And the second assumption that I have is that they have a good marketing strategy in place. This is because, like, even if the college or the non-profit organization is very good, but if they don't have a good marketing strategy, it won't reach a lot of people, and the people won't be aware, like, what college is that, or what non-profit organization is that. So people won't be aware. So I am assuming that they have a good marketing strategy. This will help them get more funds and more resources in place. Right. The third assumption for me is that the economic situation of the locality is good. This is because only if people are earning well and they are satisfying their basic needs, they would be willing to contribute to the non-profit organizations. and also they would want to volunteer or contribute to the society. But if the economic situation is not very good and people are not so well to do, they would be a little reluctant to contribute or work as a volunteer in any kind of organization. So these are the three assumptions that I have. If you have any more, just please let me know in the comments down below. I would love that. Let's attempt the next question now. What are the risks involved in the project? You can pause the video right now. As per me, the people are skeptical and they don't want to invest in the organization. That's the first. The second is that the economic situation can worsen a lot more of that locality, and the government can cut down their allocations even more or even earlier, like not even next year, maybe this year, maybe next month. So that could be a risk, right? So now we tackled that one, and let's go to a more complicated one now. If you have the book, again, you can refer to the case study 2 of Guido and Clemens. If you don't, let's go to a more complicated one now. If you have the book, again, you can refer to the case study 2 of Guido and Clemens. If you don't have the book right now, it's not an issue. I have a summary of the case study here. In this case, what happens is that Matt and Grace are co-owner of a supermarket, and it's a relatively remote town, and they have no competition, and they have an aging population around them. But there is an art college in town, which means that they have like some younger population as well, but not that much. What we learn is Matt is thinking about creating an e-commerce website so that he can target young consumers and increase his business. As per Grace, the town has an aging population and most of the residents do not know how to use the computers to place the orders online. They decide to go to a consultant for more advice, right? Okay, so let's attempt the questions again. The first question that we have is, what are the needs that have been identified? In this case study, basically the only need I can identify is Matt and Grace want to create an e-commerce website, create a business, to create an e-commerce website. Okay, let's do that once again, sorry. Let's look at the question. For one, what are the needs that have been identified? When I look at the case study, Matt and Grace own a supermarket and they want to create an e-commerce website because he wants to increase his business. So increasing his business is the need that has been identified, and for this need he is planning to create an e-commerce website to increase the business sales by keeping up with the business trends. The next question is, what is the project objective? Generally, there should be a timeline or a budget, but in this case, we don't have any information. The only objective that I can understand from this case study is they want to create an e-commerce website. That's the only objective. Project objective is to get an e-commerce website for the supermarket, as it is the wave of the future, right? Let's go to the next question. What are some things Matt and Grace should do before they meet with the consultant? Sorry, I missed this. This is an interesting question. You can pause the video right now if you want to attempt it yourself. What Matt and Grace should do is that they should decide first what is going to be on their website. What do they want basically on their website, right? Then they should also decide what customers they are targeting, because maximum or the majority of the population are old and they don't know how to use the computers or place online orders and stuff. They should decide what customers they are targeting and then decide if it's worth the investment. And the third thing is that they need to plan their expense and also schedule before meeting with the consultant. The next question is, what should the consultant tell Matt and Grace? The consultant should basically explain the process of setting up the e-commerce website to them, because they as per the case study, they don't seem much aware of the process. You should also explain how Matt and Grace would be paid once the order has been placed, because they were concerned about that. The consultant should also make them understand how much creating the website would cost and how they should invest only if there is a market. If the people are not going to place the orders online, then there is no point in creating a website, right? So only if someone will tap into their website or will go into their website to place an order, they can create an e-commerce website. That's the thing I feel that the consultant should tell Matt and Grace. That's it, guys. I will see you soon in the next video. If you have any questions or comments or any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I will see you soon in the next video, because remember, consistency is what that matters.